Now that we've got a whole bunch of things in place, let's get started with task 1.1. If you remember, the unit's assessment is around a portfolio of tasks. And so we're going to work through the very first one of these tasks. Let's have a look at how that works. All right. OnTrack is our tool that we're going to use to help us keep track of our tasks and the things that we need to do. So let's switch over to Safari and have a look at OnTrack. So here's OnTrack, ontrack.deakin.edu.au. And inside this, I've logged into my Introduction to Programming unit, and I'm looking at my dashboard at the moment. Down the left here, I can see the task list. These are the tasks that I need to complete in order to get the target grade that I'm looking for. I can change my target grade anytime I want, as often as I want. As I change my target grade, it changes the tasks that I need to do. So we can see here there are additional tasks which are not present in the lower grades. With the progress burndown chart, I can see the progress and how I'm tracking against the projected targets, which is this grey line here. I can see the status of the different tasks I've got here. Let's get started with the Hello World task. If I select Hello World on the left here, I can indicate that, well, this is not started. I am now working on it. Do that for the task that you're working on. I can view the task sheet. When I've submitted something, I'll be able to view my submission as well, but I'll be able to view the task sheet. This has all of the details of what to do for this task. But in this case, I'm going to walk you through it. It's basically the Hello World task you saw me produce a little while earlier. So now that we've got this started, I've accessed the task sheet, which I can download. I can also download the task resources. So in this case, there's some resource associated with that. May as well download that while I'm here. All right, I'm now ready to get started on the task. So normally I'd have the task sheet open and start to read through or access the details. If there's a video, watch the video associated with it. In this case, we're creating our Hello World program. So let's see what I need to do. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is set up my project. If you remember, that's going to be using the terminal. So here's my terminal, and I've got a code folder. And inside my code folder, I want to create my project. So I need to move into this directory. One thing I can do, CD, to change directory. And very simply, if you drag and drop the folder, this works across all operating systems. If you drag and drop the folder into the window, it will give you the full path to that folder. So it's a nice, easy way to do that when you've got to move a long distance between one location and another. So I'm now inside my code folder, and so I can quickly make my Hello World folder. All right, that should have appeared. Hello World, there it is, which is empty. So we CD into Hello World. In this case, it's probably easier to type it than it is to drag and drop, because you can simply use the autocomplete, and you're already in the code folder, so you only need to say the name of the Hello World folder. All right, I am here. Let's use SKM to create me a new C++ project. There's my project. Awesome. The project is set up. What do I need to do next? All right. I'm going to write the code. We can then compile it, and we can run it. So these are the steps that we walked through in the previous video. So to write the code, I'll switch over to Visual Studio Code. And remember to use the Open Folder button, or when you do File Open, choose the folder. So here I'm looking for the folder, Hello World. I open that folder. We can see the files inside this, and I know my code is in the program CPP file. So double click that, and you can then hide the file explorer if you want on the left there. Remember, if you haven't already done so, to make sure that you've installed the C++ extension. Inside here, we have the code, which is the code for our Hello World program. We'll have a look at the details of that later. For the moment, just type what you see on my screen. So I'm going to call the write line procedure here, and I'm going to pass it the text Hello World. There we go. And let's do one more for good luck. Write line, and then we can put by, and put your name here. Not my name, please. All right, Hello World by Andrew Kane. Notice the circle here, the big circle. Yeah, big black circle. That indicates that I have not saved this file yet. That's going to be very important. You've got to remember to save your file, otherwise when you compile it, it'll be compiling something else, something you've written previously. You can go File, Save, but remember the shortcut, Command S or Control S. So in my case, I'm going to do the shortcut, Command S. My document is saved, and so this is the code that I can compile. Switch back to the terminal, and I compile my code. skm clang, that's the name of the compiler. What file do I want to compile? I want to compile program.cpp. What do I want to call it when I output that? Or what do I want clang to call it? Let's get it to call it Hello World. There we go, it compiled successfully. Now, if you do make mistakes, you'll get errors that you'll need to try to work out. In this case, just double check the code against the code here. You'll get something like that. In this case, it's saying expected semicolon after expression. So it said, well, you've done something here, but, well, you know, shouldn't there be a semicolon here? Unfortunately, it doesn't just go, well, yeah, you meant that, because it's not sure if you meant it or not. And so it failed. If we fix the code, save it again, so I used Command S, what you can do is you can press the up arrow on your keyboard, and it will cycle through the previous commands. So that way I can just go up to clang++, press enter, it compiles it, and now I have my program. If I switch back to the Finder, we can see the program is here, and I can run it using ./Hello World. You can use the autocomplete there as well, so ./HE and hit tab. Hello World by Andrew Kane. Excellent. Alright, my program's working, and I've met the requirements for the task sheet. So if you read through the task sheet, you would see that it would have told you to do the things that we've done. Make sure you read those carefully. And in this case, there's one extra step, which is the fact that we need to answer some questions. So we have our code working, but there were some questions we needed to answer. So if I go to that download that I downloaded, here it is, task 1.1 resources, and I extract it, you'll see that we've got a 1.1 answers.doc. I can open that, and I need to answer these questions. The questions will be in this template, basically. So here we go. Put my name, my student ID, fill out the answers. I'll let you work those ones out. And then when you finish, what you can do is you can come here and do Save As. And instead of using docx, choose PDF. That would be good. And 1.1 answers, that will do. Click Export. There we go. Now I have my answers as a PDF. Hopefully yours will be a little bit more detailed than mine. Anyway, we have our PDF. One other thing that we're going to need in order to submit this is a screenshot of our code running. So a screenshot of this window over here. You can use the shortcuts within the operating system. So Command-Shift-4, for example, is a screen grabber in Mac OS. Or you can use programs like Skitch. I like Skitch. We could do a quick screen snap and tell it I want to grab that part of my window. There we go, capture, and it'll give me a PDF, a PNG, and I can save that to somewhere on my computer. If you link this up to an account, it'll back it up to the web as well. So I've got my screenshot, I've got my PDF, and I've got my code. So now that I'm ready, what next? All right, now we go back to On Track to submit our work. So if we come here, all right, back into the task. What we want to do, instead of having it, the fact that we are working on it, we now think we're ready for feedback. This should indicate that you believe you've done the task to the best of your ability and have met all of the requirements. So come in here, we'll grab drop the code file here, and I need to locate my code. So here, I'm already in my documents code Hello World folder. There's my program.cpp. choose that. I also need to drop the PDF. This is for the answers. So that was in my downloads. I'd suggest you keep these somewhere a little bit more related to the unit. And remember to keep them, because if you need to change this, you'll need to resubmit things. And we need my screenshot. There we go. Click Next. Once I've done that, I come to this page where I need to link my task with what I felt that I learned from it. So in this case, did we do some code reading? So I'd say we could put down that it is slightly related to that. We did a little bit of code reading. Did we do some code writing? Yeah, I wrote a little bit of code, but I don't think this is going to be my best program for the whole trimester. It's not even like a really reasonably good one because it's so small. So I think it's slightly related. We didn't really talk about the principles of structured programming at all, so it's not really related to that. And did I have to relate it? Well, of course, I'm doing this task, so this is definitely related to me reflecting on my tasks. What you want to do down here then is write a short reflection based on what you learnt from the task. 2 or 3 sentences would be well enough. So you could say something like, this was my first program, it was really interesting to see how this worked, or something, whatever you felt you got out of the task. You can try to indicate why you've put these in there as well, as part of that reflection. Lastly, you can read a comment, or you can provide a comment. This will go to the tutor who looks at your work, and you could ask them, but did I do, the main method correctly? Things like that, and you can get them to check specific parts if you're not sure about how that worked. Or can you explain, I'm not sure how this part worked, could you help me understand that? Those sort of things. And then you can work with your tutor to really understand things to a full depth. Once you click Upload, there we go, your task submitted. It's very simple now. What do you do next? Well, there's another task here. Let's go to that one. We can say that we're now working on this task. We can view the task sheet, go through the steps, submit the files, get feedback. What will happen next? Your tutor will access this, and then they will change the state, and they should leave you a comment as well, so that you'll be able to see that to give you, or to help you understand how well you're going with the tasks. That's it for this part of the task. You should now have completed task 1.1.